Moses. God tells Moses, come to Paro. You have to come to Paro to warn him. Keep on warning him. You got to take the Jews out of Egypt. So what is this idea here of Paro? Why does Moses need to come to him repeatedly? There's deeper spiritual meaning here. Paro, it says, is the representation of the void that God created when he made the world. This is a kabbalistic idea that when God wanted to create the world, there was no potential for a world because God was everything. God was all of reality. So to create a world, God needed to create this void. How do we see this in the name of Paro? Paro is also from the meaning of disruption. Paro tells Moses, when Moses tells him, we need to get them out, we need to give them a break, they need to go serve God. He says, why are you disrupting the nation? The word in Hebrew is tafriyu, like Paro. So Paro is disruption. This is the void that God disrupted his energy. And then Paro is also from the language of revelation. There's another word in Hebrew which uses the word Paro as revelation, which is the opposite of disruption. So it's the void. God creates the void to create a space that there is no seeming energy of God. And then God reveals all of creation and the energy of creation within that void. God is doing this from mercy. God is doing this from love. God wanted to reveal his compassion and mercy on the world. And without a world, there can be no revelation of this mercy because there's no separate entity other than God. The world becomes this separate entity. And this is, in Hebrew, the word is atzilut, from the beginning of emanation till our physical world. All of it is in that void that God wants to reveal his mercy and love and create this world. Everything, as we mentioned, was infinite before. God needs to remove his light, as it were, as if he's removing the light, because in truth, he can't really remove the light. The light is still there, even in the void. It just appears as if there is no light of God within that void. And within that void, God creates all of the days of creation, all of the attributes of creation, all of the entire world. And so he said, we need this void for the world to be created. Without the void, you cannot have a world. We really can't understand this idea. It's something that is unfathomable. How could there be this void? How could there be such a thing? And you're saying that God is still within it. There's something and there's nothing at once. It's something that we can't really understand. It says we won't really understand this till Mashiach, till Messiah will come. So this idea that we're saying that it's just so hard to understand, that it's as if there's no godliness, but there is godliness. There is the energy of God even within that void. It's so hard to understand this idea. So this hard concept, which is hard to grasp, that's what creates heaviness of the heart that we experience in this world. That's what creates doubt in God, what we experience in this world. All of this has been created by God. Even doubting God is created by God. And it's as if we can't find God because God made it that you don't see him. He made the void that you don't see God. And that's why we all have sometimes doubts in God or disbelief. And so Moses is told by God, come there. I want you to go there, Moses, and I want you to find God within that void. But this is the concept of all of the wisdoms, the models of intellect. And I'm losing the word of how to express this, but these disciplines, these intellectual disciplines that they question God, it really all does come from the void. And this is what creates, like we're saying, this heaviness of the heart, which Pharaoh had. And God is telling Moses, I need you to come in there and break that. I need you to come in there and reveal the godliness within that. I want you to show him the wonders of creation so we can see how even within the void you have godliness. It starts to come revealed even within the void. This is why God says to Moses, I want it to be told in the ears of your children and the children of your children, because what's the idea of told? That God created the world through speech. Really, everything that was created, you have the contraction of God's mercy. The contraction is to create something as if God's mercy is what's creating things as the way they are. Because the mercy, we're saying, is really the source of all creation. That God wants to create in order to reveal his mercy. So the contraction of everything as it is according to God's mercy. And the more we can connect, we could see God's mercy in every creation. We can begin to perceive the godliness in everything. Then there's this idea that the evil comes from the shattering of vessels. That there was more shattering of vessels, and they can't contain retain the godly light that's within them, so it becomes evil. The light is leaking out of the vessels. And that's the evil forces called klipot in Hebrew, like the husks of creation, which is opposing the holiness. It's like someone who's laughing at his friend. They are kind of laughing at holiness and distorting the holiness. It's like a monkey and pretending to be a person. That's the evil in a sense. And eventually God says, V'yidatem, he says to Moses, you will know that I am God. You'll be able to start to recognize God even within all of that darkness. Even within the void, you're going to start to see God. Even within the evil, you're going to start to recognize God. And that's our job in this world, to be in this world, to be within the tests, and to recognize God. So I know this is a very deep teaching. So to sum it up, basically, we're saying that God wanted to create the world, and God's energy was everywhere. He needed to create a void of his energy, even though it's just an apparent void. It's not really a void. And his light is coming in there, but some people get stuck in the void. Some people get stuck in the darkness, and this is Paro. Pharaoh gets stuck in the darkness, and Moses needs to come in and start to reveal godliness, and that's giving us the power to see the light of God even within the void, even within the darkness, even within the challenges, and then we start to perceive God's mercy, which mercy, we're saying, is the source of all of creation. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful day.